Hi friends, it's Crochet with Yvette and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you step by step how to crochet this adorable and festive turkey applique just in time for fall and Thanksgiving season. This is a beginner friendly project and I'll be walking you through it nice and slow, so feel free to pause or rewind as you go. Grab your yarn, hook, and let's crochet together. So you need all your supplies at reach. They come in handy. I used different colors for my turkey's feathers. Brown for the body. You can use black, brown, but for the tutorial I'm going to be using white. Grab some yellow and red because we're going to make the beak and the snood. I used the C hook for the feathers and the D or the F hook for the body. You need the googly eyes as well. So of course for the feather, this is a leaf. It's a tiny little leaf using the C hook. You're going to chain up 6. And you will be making 6 feathers, 2 of different colors, or you choose whatever colors you want. So make a single crochet in that second chain from the hook. You will make a half double crochet in the next chain. You will make a double crochet in the next chain. And then you will make a half double crochet in the next chain. If you don't know how to make a double or a half double crochet, I have video tutorials in my channel. And then make 1 single crochet in that last chain. And then you will chain up 2. Go back into that same chain and you will make a single crochet. And then we will be working on the opposite side of the feather or leaf. We will make a half double crochet in the first unused loop, then a double crochet in the next unused loop, and then you will make a half double crochet in the next unused loop, and make 1 single crochet in the next unused loop. This is the little feather. It's a leaf, but it will serve as the feather. So make your single crochet, chain 1, and then you will insert your hook into the first stitch of the previous round. Make a slip stitch, and then you will chain 1. Pull up some yarn, enough for stitching. You can remove whatever pieces of yarn that are loose using your yarn needle. So again, you need 6 leaves and you choose the colors that you would like. I chose my colors and I used whatever I had here on hand. Here they are. So you'll need these and leave enough yarn to stitch. So this is the beak. Chain up 3. And then you're going to insert your hook into the second chain from the hook and make a slip stitch. And then you will make a half double crochet in the last chain. Use whatever color you'd like for the beak. After you complete that half double crochet, you will chain 1. Pull up some yarn, leave enough yarn to stitch on your turkey's face or the head. And just hide whatever loose ends you need to hide. This beak looks a little different from the other, but it's okay. Let's make the snood. We're going to use some red, and we're going to chain up 4. Chain up 4. And then you will make 2 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. If you need to use your stitch markers, use your stitch markers. This is for beginners. Then you will make a slip stitch in the remaining chains. This is the turkey's snood. And I hope I pronounced that right. We've got one more here. And then, my friends, you will take that loose end of yarn and just place it in the center in between the working loop and the working yarn, and then make a chain and pull up, leaving enough yarn to stitch. This is a very cute, adorable applique, my friends. It does take time and work and a lot of patience. So here I made a magic circle, and I'm using white yarn for this tutorial just to keep it beginner friendly, and we are going to make the turkey's head. I think using bright colors, especially for beginners, is best because working with dark colors can be hard to see the stitches. So we're going to make 6 single crochets in this ring. Sometimes I got to go back and count again. So go ahead and take that loose end and just pull just to close your circle. Use your round counter if you need to use it. We're going to start round 2. Insert your hook into that first stitch from the previous round, and you will make a single crochet. Use your stitch marker if you need to use your stitch marker. Again, it's recommended for beginners. And you will make another single crochet. We're on round 2, by the way. You will make a second single crochet in that same stitch as the first one, as the one you marked. And you will make another 2 single crochets in the next stitch and all stitches around for a total of 12 stitches. So 2 stitches in each stitch around till you get to the last stitch for a total of 12 stitches. Again, just to remind you, we're using white. This is just to keep the tutorial beginner friendly because I think that bright colors is best for those who are learning to crochet. Using dark colors, you might get it might be difficult to see the stitches. So far, this is what it's looking like. So let's go ahead and start round 3. And you will make 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Insert your hook right here where that stitch is marked. Remove your stitch marker and make a single crochet and go ahead and mark your stitch. You're marking the stitch so that way when you finish the round you can count starting with the marked stitch to make sure that you have your 12 stitches. This is for beginners. So we're going to make a stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Here I accidentally inserted my hook into that first stitch, but no, 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 no. You want to insert your hook into the next stitch. We are making 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 12 stitches to finish off the turkey's head. I used, of course, brown color, a chocolate brown color for my turkey. You can use black, brown, gray, whatever color you choose, whatever color you want your turkey to be. But again, white is being used for this tutorial to make it easier and simpler for beginners. And, for those who are learning to crochet. So just go ahead and continue making your stitches. These stitch markers and round and row counters are so helpful and lifesavers. Pull up some yarn and just detach the working yarn from your little project or your little piece, your headpiece here. Take this yarn, just pull, try to tighten it up a little bit. Don't pull too hard, but you want to close that circle and tighten it up, and then just take your yarn needle, or you can take your crochet hook and just go through those back loops of your work and pull that loose end of yarn through those loops, and just do this in different directions, like going opposite directions, just to hide and secure your work. Just like that, my friends. And then just remove that. And of course, with the other end, I'm going to go ahead and leave some yarn for on the body, and we'll use that yarn to stitch the head and the body together. So just go ahead and hide this piece of yarn here. I'm just going to go ahead and take my hook, and I'm going to skip that first stitch right here and go into this stitch right here, and I'm going to pull this yarn to the back. And then I'm just going to insert my hook into the last stitch, but in the center of the loops, like in between the loops. And then just grab that yarn and pull it to the back. Like that. And then of course use your yarn needle or your hook again and just insert it through those back loops to pull that yarn through those loops. Just going in different directions again and just cleaning it up. Clean up your work and just secure everything so that your work does not unravel. And that's about it. I'm trying to keep this video as slow paced as possible and more detailed step by step, because I do record on TikTok and I'm limited there. So here is my turkey's head in brown. Now we're going to make the body, but all you have to do is repeat the first 3 rounds for the head, the pattern, and then we're going to do another 4th round, and in that 4th round we are just going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 24 stitches to make the body. Here I'm going to stitch on the head and the body together. So you can use a straight pin if you need to, and just place it wherever you want to place it. This is pretty much where I want my head and body to be. I want my body to show and the head as well. So just take this yarn here, take your yarn needle, and we're going to stitch the head to the body. Use your good judgment. And we're going to start from the back to the front. So all you have to do is insert your hook from the back to the front, making sure that you get a piece of the head and the body. Just like that. And as you can see, this is dark yarn, so it's kind of hard to see those stitches. But if you have to rewind, if you have to pause and rewind the video, kind of increase the light a bit here. Maybe it's a little too bright, but I think it was best so that you can see more or less exactly where I am inserting the needle. So I'm working from the front to the back, front, back to the front, just trying to keep my turkey's head and body together. Again, use your good judgment as to where you want to stitch. Now just turn your work, and now you're going to take your needle and you're going to just insert it through those back loops of the head and connecting it with one of the loops from the body, and just stitch. Just connect them together. If you want to use fabric glue, it's up to you. I think the purpose of the video was so that I could show you how to make the little pieces for this turkey applique. Again, it takes patience, takes time, and the will to want to do it. And this is what it's going to look like so far. So good, my friends. So go ahead and hide your yarn. Just going into those back loops. Just making sure that that loose end of yarn is secured. I think this is a cute and adorable turkey applique that took me maybe 2 to 4 hours to create. I had to write it down or else I'll forget. And it looks lovely on your cup sleeves, handbags, anything that you want to show off this beautiful applique for the fall. You know, fall vibes. So far, so good. This is what it'll look like. It will look like on a cup sleeve. I had to stitch on each feather individually, just so that you know. Here I'm just going to show you what it would look like on this cup sleeve here. Okay, so go ahead and get your glue gun and add some glue, but I'm going to suggest that you apply the glue to the back of the googly eye versus on the fabric. Because then you're going to get all that glue stuff all over your yarn. And of course, I don't like this part, but if there's another way that you can fasten on these googly eyes, please comment below and let me know, and let others know. Here's the little beak, so tiny. You have to have a lot of patience to stitch this on. So I took a little bit of glue, just a little dab of glue. That way I could just place it on the face of the turkey, just to keep it from moving. And then, of course, I'm going to stitch this on. And again, guys, you can use fabric glue if you want. You can even use felt. If you want to use felt to keep it simple, because it is a very tiny little piece to stitch on. Just have to have patience. So I'm just going to insert the hook. No, not the hook, I'm sorry. The crochet yarn needle from the front to the back. And then again, we are going to work from the back to the front to the back. And just, you know, inserting it in between the stitches there, as you can see. Try to kind of fix your little beak. Of course, this beak and the other beak I made are not going to look identical because this is a handmade item. It's handmade and they're not going to look identical. It's not a machine-made turkey applique. Handmade. I'm just enjoying the moment here with you guys. I'm just trying to teach, to share, to enjoy the moment. So now we're done stitching on that beak, and now we're just going to, you know, hide that yarn, secure the yarn, secure your work. So this way everything stays in its place. These little cute appliques, again, when you stitch them on a cup koozie, they are great little gifts to give to your friends. Go ahead and just detach that yarn. And this is what your little turkey's looking like. Look at that. So cute and adorable. Now let's go ahead and stitch on that snood. And you place it wherever you want to place it. My daughter told me to place it on the side, so I did. I asked for her advice, her input, and it's what she told me. Place it right here on the side, Mom. So again, take your yarn needle and just pierce it just from the front to the back, as close to the beak as you can. And then, of course, go back from the back to the front, inserting the needle maybe one more time. Take some of that yarn just to try to keep it as close to the beak as possible. And that's it. Go ahead and just take your needle and run it through those back loops of your applique. Make your knot, make a couple of knots. You do you. Take your hook and just take that end right there and pull it through. Pull, pull, pull. Maybe another pull. Let's take it and run it through that loop. Make another knot. Again, whatever works for you, my friends. I think you guys understand the tutorial. It's all about just crocheting all the little parts for the turkey and just creating it. You know, it's all about just crocheting it and stitching it together. Looks like a tie. So here we go again. Looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and use this bright orange to go ahead and stitch on the applique. This way it will help the turkey pop, you know, stand out. So use straight pins if you need to use a straight pin to keep your turkey, you know, from moving around, because now we're going to go ahead and stitch it on. So you're going to take some brown yarn and you're going to stitch it from the back to the front again, front to the back, just inserting it in between the stitches. If you have a better way, an easier way to stitch this turkey onto your projects, please comment below and let us know. I like to share. Be careful with that straight pin. You don't want to poke yourself, because it's happened to me many times. So just working from the front to the back, back to the front. And stitching on this turkey. And again, you choose whatever color you want for your turkey. And keep in mind that it takes patience and time, because you have to stitch everything individually. And if you want to use, again, fabric glue, it is your choice. I don't know. I've never used fabric glue. I don't know how durable it is. I just wouldn't want to give this as a gift to someone and then the applique falls off. You get me? Let's just enjoy the moment. I'm really, really loving this applique. I've been making these koozies, these cup sleeves. It's a pattern that I found online. It's a free pattern, by the way. I will have to link the creator of this pattern. It is so beautiful. I believe the content creator used chunky yarn to make her her cup sleeve. I used 2 strands of yarn. So continue crocheting or stitching on your little turkey. And then we will hide all those ends. So just go ahead and detach your yarn, taking your scissors, and then just bring those 2 strands of yarn together, making a couple of knots, just like so. And then you're just going to take a yarn needle or your hook and just grab that loose ends and just pull it through those inside loops to hide and secure your work, just like this. And of course you can just pull from all directions a few times. Just like that. Perhaps one more time, but you don't have to. Your choice. Let's just enjoy the moment. Go ahead and just take your scissors and just remove that piece of yarn there. We don't want it there. We want to try to keep it clean on the inside. And there you go, my friends. Look at that. So adorable. So now we're going to go ahead and add the leaves, which of course are the feathers for the turkey. Now, you can stitch the leaves individually on the turkey before placing it on your project. But here, as you can see, you just go ahead and pierce the needle through that stitch close to the turkey's head from the front to the back, and then you're going to go from the back to the front, stitching in between these stitches. You see their little V's, you can see them. So in between these stitches, you're just going to insert your needle, working front, back, back to the front, and just place it where you want to place it. You might want to use straight pins and just pin all the feathers where exactly you want them to be. But as you can see what I'm doing here, you'll know what you have to do to all the leaves, all the little feathers. I call them leaves because they are supposed to be little mini leaves, but they are serving as the turkey's feathers. And just carefully, stitch them on. Stitch them wherever you want them to be. You angle them how you want them to be. And then you just take the other one and you use the one that you stitched on as a guide. And here, of course, I'm going to use the straight pin. I recommend that you use straight pins just to be on the safe side. Take your time and don't worry about being perfect. Remember, we're just here to have fun, crochet fun, enjoy the moment, and just learning from each other. I'm not looking for perfection here, guys. I just love crocheting. It is very relaxing and therapeutic for me, especially after a long day. Oh, tackling wife duties. It just helps me unwind. So you see, so straight pins do come in handy because you see I kind of like was going to stitch this on a little too further away from the body. So yeah, use your stitch markers. Very important. And then of course you choose the colors you want for your turkey's feathers. Be creative. Be creative and be you. I love these cup koozies. I've made more than 3 of these. So here again, I'm just gonna pierce my yarn needle through the stitch around the turkey's body and working from the front to the back, back to the front. Of course, you're using the same yarn color for each leaf, and this is why I had suggested make sure you leave enough length of yarn because you're going to need it to stitch on your feathers. I think I left a little bit. It was kind of hard because I was already noticing that my yarn to stitch was short. So just make sure that you leave a good maybe 12 inches of yarn at the end of every feather you make, just to make sure that you have enough yarn to stitch on your feathers. So go ahead and finish up, and this is what it's going to look like, my friends. Just like this. Each little feather was stitched on individually. So go ahead and turn your work from the inside out. And then you see all these little loose ends. Does not look very, very pretty. So what you want to do is you want to merge them together, make a knot, and you want to hide your work, and then just make sure that everything is nicely secured. And just taking your crochet hook into the loops, and you're going to be hiding your work. Like so. It's really not that hard. And since the strands of yarn at the end are short, I am using my crochet hook. I'm using the C hook. It's a smaller hook, so I can just get into those little loops. Tell you guys I would be recording a full video, especially for those who are coming from TikTok. I wanted to crochet this little applique and stitch it on, and be more detailed, slow paced, and step by step, kind of give you an idea like how much time it takes to do this little applique and put it all together and stitch it on your project, whatever project you're working on. Even if it's not a handmade project, a handbag, a hat, anything. You be creative. You be creative. So now go ahead and just take those scissors and trim. Remove all of that. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, my friends. Thank you so much for crocheting with me today. I hope you enjoyed making this little turkey applique as much as I enjoyed showing you how. And if you did, don't forget to don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out for more cozy tutorials and fun crochet projects with Crochet with Yvette. Happy hooking, and I'll see you in the next video.